Hello, hello everyone. Welcome. Hi everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits and welcome to the April 2021 ChemKnits Dialogue live stream. In these live streams every month, I pick a new inspiration photo and then I challenge myself and all of you to dye some yarn or fiber based on the photo. This month I was inspired by this colorized image of Mars that NASA released really recently, like within the last week, I think. I forget. I do have a link to them sharing it in the video description. So this image was a black and white image that they used temperature data to colorize it. So the blue areas are colder and the more orange tones are warmer because there are these like dunes, and the parts that were facing towards the sun were warmer, and so that gives this like color pattern that is really, really fun and that would be really fun to play with. I'm also not sure if this is a kind of color palette I've used before. So I'm very excited about that. Now, this is a dye-along. So as I mentioned, I'm challenging you to dye yarn along with me at home. And so I will pull a lot of your photos of the yarn that you create to include in the recap of this live stream. So about in a month from now, I will share a recap of all the finished dried yarn that I create in this stream and use some of your photos. So that way we can see how different people might interpret one photo and the different kinds of colors and colorways people create. If you would like to participate and a chance to be featured, share your dyed yarn on Instagram using the hashtag ChemKnitsDialogue, or share it on Facebook. On the ChemKnits Facebook page, you'll find this picture right there. Reply with a photo comment, and I will pull from those to feature. There is a link to the Facebook post and details about this all in the video description, along with other useful things like my favorite tools and equipment and affiliate links and things like that that you can find down there. So let's see. I realized that I did not yet pop out the chat, so that way I can see it. Hello everyone. Making sure I can see all. Even though like I can't see some things. Let's see. Hello. Yeah, I'm a little nervous about this one. So I'm not sure how I'm going to do, but that's part of the point of these dialogues. It's for me to challenge myself and push myself, at least a bit. That is the plan. But anyway, I just thought I actually had multiple requests to have a Mars themed dialogue, and so that was it might be out of this world hint. I think that I posted maybe on Instagram or something. But yeah, I was looking for the right image, and this was shared with me. And yeah, so thank you to everyone who requested Mars. I'm really, really excited. Yeah, so the picture is really fun. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do. I have like a crude vision of maybe some pale blue with some, say, black speckles, and then some like honey mustard and brown with some deeper brown speckles on the other side is a sort of crude, rough vision, but we will also see where the colors take us. And so as you dye your yarn, you do not need to go from the whole image. You could go from just the warm tones with that white towards the bottom, or the more blue section at the top, or you can go for the whole thing. That's totally up to you. I mean, technically, since this image was so long and I didn't want to crop it, I do have a desaturated thing off to the side, so you could go and do grayscale as well. All right, so now let's see. So in preparing for today, which I'll just say I've had a week. So it's been a week. Thankfully, I mean, everyone's fine and stuff like that, but it's been a week. But let's move this aside and talk about colors. I actually have colors on the mat already, but let's see. Wait, why do I not see? Oh. Okay, I guess I'm gonna have to move. Okay, so for the blue, can you guess what color I think I'm gonna use? Oh. And as I pull it up really, really fast. Frozen, one of my favorites. I think that True Turquoise from Dharma also would give like that really nice blue hue. Frozen is less pigmented, and so it should be easier to get a more pastel color from it, but still having some of that brightness and pop. And it's one of my favorite colors ever. I love it all the time. And so there's that. So that is my plan for the cool tone. And what else is, yeah, I think I have pulled some True Black and some Silver Gray, as I just shared tiny, I can move this further up. I have pulled both some Silver Gray and True Black. I am not entirely sure how much I might want to use. If I'm going to speckle directly with the powder, I would probably use Silver Gray. It's a little easier to get more spread out black speckles than with True Black is a lot more pigmented. So that's why I just have both on hand, just in case. All right, so next up, I pulled for the yellowish tone and then some of these more brown notes. I have pulled both Honey Mustard and Teddy Bear Brown, and I also pulled some Dharma Fawn. The fawn is sort of an orangey brown. The Teddy Bear Brown is a little bit cooler toned. It's warmer toned than, say, Pecan Brown. Not as yellow as Jacquard Brown, but I wanted something a bit warmer. But the Honey Mustard is going to fit a lot of these hues really well and give us some yellow tones where it's less concentrated. And so that's sort of why I went for that first. So instead of doing, where's the other one? Oh, there it is. So instead of doing, say, some of the, so sometimes I'll start these dialogues doing the swatches to help me decide the colors, but I decided to go back and look at ones I've done in the past. And the reason why I like doing those crude swatches in the pans is to help me compare colors to themselves when I'm dealing with the dry powders, because it can, a color, for example, gonna hide that. Ooh, it's not focusing very well. The colors on the swatches that you see down there, in particular, say that Frozen, doesn't really look like what I see for the actual color. The Frozen I often use when I'm doing neon rainbows. It is so bright, but the swatch, which I think is maybe like a 1% of the shade on Silk, is a lot more muted. And so that's why it's helpful to see, because some of the like premix pastels can have quite the punch. But I'm not sure why the camera is being so fuzzy today. Let's see. So tobacco leaf is really cool, but it definitely breaks, and I don't really want to bring greens into the mix today. And so that, it sort of gives like red and green, which are very pretty, just not quite what I want. Bright Aqua might work. Is Bright Aqua a little more, I guess I didn't bring that one in. Let me grab an image. I'll grab I've got Aqua, let's see, browse, color swatches. Where do I have bright aqua? Okay, so of course it's going to be huge. Wait, where are you? There we go. Got to make it smaller. All right, so bright aqua. It is a little bit more green than a lot of the other colors. So like Caribbean blue or true turquoise are a little bit closer to the blue, the like more cool toned. I think bright aqua is a little more warm toned. It's really fun that I have all those. Not that I have them in a real or organized way. I just have them organized by like date and like a general category, but oh, you're welcome. The other reason why I think using frozen is going to be really fun is that it represents cold. And so the like frozen for the coldest temperature, that also just fit. Sometimes I like it when the color name also just really fits the theme. So Star, I have not tried the tulip spray dye. I actually probably have some somewhere. My concern is that it might be more of a paint versus a dye. And so it might have like a texture or something to it, which could make the yarn stiff. But I don't know for sure because I haven't actually tried it. I have some somewhere. I have like a box of like random dyes and stuff that I think I forgot. I mean, I got a glitter spray once, which I never used. That I wouldn't use on yarn, but frozen, it's what is frozen? It's a blue. You mean what's frozen in the picture? I'm sure a lot of this is actually frozen. The temperatures are just all relative. But let me go up to the counter, and I do want to bring, oh no, the photo. Okay, and I gotta make sure I can still see the chat. Yes, frozen is a color of acid dye. So this color right here is frozen blue. So as I showed with those crease swatches, I've got frozen blue, honey mustard, which again looks very yellow, but if you looked at the swatches that I just showed, it is more orange when you speckle because it's really concentrated. I have some fawn and teddy bear brown sort of as accents, and then the true black and silver gray are also sort of accents as we sort of deal with this interface of warm and cool, and hopefully without getting too much green in there. That's going to be the biggest challenge. But I think if we start to get green, maybe I'll cover it with brown. So these are our colors. Now, since I am using commercial acid dyes today, you can say it with me. All the tools and equipment we are using are dedicated for dyeing yarn and are not used for the preparation of food. Once I use a spoon or a pot with commercial dyes, it is then a dedicated dye equipment, and I don't use it for anything else. And actually, I made sure when I purchased my dedicated dye equipment to get things that looked substantially different from my cooking tools and utensils, so that way they couldn't ever be confused. Oh, BJ, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Really appreciate that. Oh, I should have an astronaut outfit. Oh, shoot. At one point, we did have a good astronaut helmet, but of course it broke a week later. There's a soft one that maybe could fit on my head, but I'm not sure where it is. Yes, it is a great blue for Frozen, the Disney Frozen movie. Lately in these dye-alongs, I have been working more on the counter and then moving the pans and things to the stove off camera. I need to get a second webcam because I'm still letting Keith use my other webcam since the pandemic started. So I used to have two, so I could switch back and forth really easily. But so that is something that I would consider. Now, I've been going back and forth with ideas. My general plan is the following, which is probably not showing up. But I want to have a section that is blue, a section that is the mustard, and then probably layer some of the black and gray a little bit on the blue, and similarly layer some of the browns on the mustard. So we're really going cool and warm. And maybe there'll be some white in the middle or white in other areas, and that's okay. And I'm also going to, well, it's easier said than done. I am also going to attempt to not get too hung up on the balance. And when I say balance, I'm like, if I do speckles, I'm like, it doesn't have to be on every strand going all the way through. I am knitting with yarn right now from another dyer that has speckles that isn't, like if I was dyeing it, I would be like, oh, I need to get more speckles on these areas. And it hasn't been a problem with knitting. Even if there is at times a little asymmetry, there's something beautiful about that. And so I need to just sort of go with the fact, like, especially with speckles when it doesn't need to be on every single strand. I need to let go a little bit. You've got a pan like that to get started, to get your equipment to dye. Nice. Are there any webcams to be had right now? Well, I wouldn't mind getting a more ultra fancy one, but I haven't found, like, the one that I have is still highly recommended. And I think the problem is that some webcams do a really good job if, say, you're just filming the face of a person. But I'm trying to find one that is good for, like, demos and stuff. So that's what I've been having trouble, because the demo cams I find are for documents, which is also not what I need. So that's something, if people have recommendations, please let me know. Okay, as for yarn, I've pre-soaked 3 different yarn bases. Knit Pick Stroll, which is 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. Knit Pick's Wool of the Andes worsted, which is 100% Peruvian highland wool, which I picked because it's a little bit more rustic, because it's non-superwash, it's not quite as soft, and given that just thinking about Mars and stuff, it just felt appropriate. Speaking of Peruvian highland wool, I also have zebra fingering, which I'll grab a dry one. This is from Wool to Die For. It is 100% Peruvian highland wool, and it's 2-ply, very much more like Knit Pick's palette, but some of the plies are black and gray, and some are sort of that bare white color. And so I thought that this is something that could also be fun to pull in today. So I've pre-soaked some of that, all of it just in plain tap water for about an hour. Now, when I first bought this base from Wool to Die For, I've dyed a worsted weight one before. When I first got the fingering weight one, I didn't realize they also now had a superwash one. So I have a box that maybe I'll open up later that has some of the superwash version in there. How about getting a mask? No. Let's actually go check. I think because I bought a replacement mask, because the one I'm using, like there's some parts that needed replacing, and so let me just pull up real quick. I do have the mask I use linked down below. So hold on. Settings. Okay, so the respirator mask that I use. Okay, so there is, so I was able to get a replacement. Oh, it is in stock. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so it is currently out of stock. It was in stock previously, which is why I was like, oh, because I was able to order a replacement. You can get replacement filters though. But I do on my website have, not that, I don't post much anymore. Let's see. Okay, so on my website, and this I do have linked down below. I do have some, I have the mask that I use, which I have linked here, and since it was out of stock, I went and I got recommendations from other indie dyers and so I sourced some that other dyers recommended. So the ones listed here aren't ones that I've tried personally, yeah, so there's some other sources to look for them, and then I put together some information about just masks and things like that. So this post is linked in, it should be linked in the description of all of my videos. So hopefully that is helpful. Oops, I want to see the chat. Yeah, so the important thing with a respirator mask is that you want to you want to look for something like a dust mask and things like that. You want particle filtration, because the goal of the mask is to avoid inhaling the dust that is these dyes that are finely milled, because that's just not good for your lungs. Yeah. They have the zebra yarn in DK now too. I didn't see that. So when I last looked, I think it was just, oh yeah, they do have a zebra DK. And worsted. It's really fun. I think that the colors, and I will come back so I can show you. I think that the colors do vary if you're dealing with the, well, because I think some of the superwash is also merino versus Highland wool, and so some it might have a more gray undertone overall versus a more like white undertone. So the bare colors I've heard are a bit different, but they do have a few. Super blend number 3. I think they also just have like just some different blends. It's a really, really fun yarn. I got a few things that are just really fun and unique with my recent purchase. And I will add that if you are, if you have a yarn dyeing business, you can set up a wholesale account with Wool to Dye For. I don't have like an affiliate or anything like that with them, but to get the discount, for the wholesale discount, you have to, there's a minimum 5 kilogram order when you purchase, and you can't share that with someone else. So just putting that out there. But anyway, okay, I am going to stand back up and we'll start dyeing, because I feel like I am talking a lot. Okay. And I am about to get a bit muffled, because since I did not mix up any stocks in advance, I will be wearing a respirator mask while we are, and safety glasses and gloves today. So yeah, here is my mask. And I think I linked to the new safety glasses. I really like these a lot. A lot. All right, so I think, I guess we're just gonna go for it. I can't decide if I want to start debating. I think we might try to do 4 skeins and just up the liquid. I might regret this though. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh no, something's stuck. Fine, we'll do this slower. 1. So I'm going to start by doing the base color, and this is something I've done a few times. We're going to start by adding on the blue and yellow with no acid, so that way we can get those colors to spread a bit more. And then we'll probably add acid, and I will I'll either decide to add some speckles to this depending on what we have the water level, or if when we add acid, if the colors strike quickly, then I might speckle on the countertop and then steam set. I have a steamer basket set up. So there is that. All right. Okay, so I have grabbed 2 skeins of wool of the Andes, because I think the colorway that I want to do with the zebra is going to be different. I have 2 skeins of wool of the Andes and 2 skeins of Stroll. Now this is it's not the best superwash versus non-superwash comparison, because like I guess wool of the Andes isn't like a good dupe for Stroll, both in the terms of twist and fiber content. It would be a better side-by-side. I do have multiple videos where I use wool of the Andes with wool of the Andes superwash side-by-side, and so those are worth checking out. But there is a chance that we'll start to see some colors strike right away. As I mentioned, my tap water does run slightly acidic without adding any acid to it already. So you might end up needing to add more acid than me to get similar results. Okay. Here is 8 cups of water. Which is not a bad place to start. But I think I actually want a bit more. If I just wanted to do speckles, which I'm going to want to do second anyway, if I was just doing speckles, then I might want to start with this amount of water, but I would also start with acid. But since I want to add the powder on and sort of move it through to get something that is less speckled here on the yarn, that's why I'm going to add more water so I can easily move it through the color through the yarn. Alrighty. User, I see the chat. Oh, can I give myself some more? I don't know if that shows up. So that's actually a nice bright bulb. All right, that's about 12 cups of water total. So it's enough that the yarn in here is still rather compressed, but if I press down, you can see how much water there is over my hand. So this means as we add the blue, we should be able to move it through, but also tendrils of it will move down. So this is a nice way to not have a lot of precision. But it all depends on the effects that you want. Do I use yes, I use regular white vinegar from the supermarket. I don't use cleaning vinegar. And for people who are curious, cleaning vinegar is a bit stronger, but I use the cooking, and I actually use the cooking vinegar to clean with sometimes too. Okay, so I will be more muffled now, and I need gloves. Okay. Alright, I think we'll start with the blue and then go to the more orangey section. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm so nervous. Alright, so this is frozen blue. And what I'm doing right here is I'm coming in, sprinkling it across. Let's put the lids back on. And then I am coming over here to help move this color through. And you can see that we're now getting this more pastel blue color down here. And because there's no acid, frozen blue is a color that can strike rather quickly. But because there's no acid, that is allowing me to do this and move it through in a way and help it get onto, say, all of the fibers here. And so it's just a nice way to do that. If I had vinegar in here already, I wouldn't be able to move it through in that same way. Whew. Talking is a lot harder with the mask. No worries. Curiosity is great. Now I will add, oh, you can totally see this on camera. The color of the stroll is more white than the wool of the Andes. The wool of the Andes looks more, almost more green. Okay, so now we're going to come to the other side and do the same kind of thing with this honey mustard. I had a few different ideas. One to like go a little more literal with the waves. But see how it has this, oh my goodness, brownish element to it. If the children don't stop stomping straight on my head, I will have to get their father. So I am going to want, I'll probably even add some honey mustard speckles on here as well. But right now, the goal is to start in a very, very similar way to before, but with a little bit more intensity. And I might save this middle portion to do honey mustard speckles on after the fact. So I think there's a big chance that I might go heat set this and then come back, put it on the counter, and add the speckles in to give that texture. But this one I just flipped up, and it's okay if some of the speckles stay. But I think you might also be able to notice that more color seems to be going into our stroll than our wool of the Andes. And that is something that I can try to correct a bit later on, but it's just interesting. Okay, now I do want to add acid. I actually really like this a lot right now. Okay, I'm going to add a tablespoon there, and I'll have to get some more. Let me take off these gloves. Actually, I have all of the powder closed, so I can take off the mask and be clearer again. Where is my... the reason why I buy vinegar in these big tubs from Costco. So that's why I often aliquot it into these, just a cup, because it is easier to measure. And I don't really care how much I have. I'm sure that just by doing that, the frozen probably is like really striking already. I don't want to move the colors too much because I don't want to take even more away from the wool of the Andes. But I'm actually going to bring this over to the stove and start heating it on low so we can absorb these colors from step one. I'm actually really happy with that. And I will come and sit down and see what you all have to say. I had a lot of thoughts. I thought about dip dyeing in gray and blue and then layering on the warmth. But I'm enjoying this. Hello. The blue is frozen blue. Huh. Yeah, I mean, I just used just straight white vinegar because it's really, really cheap. Some of the other flavored vinegars, like balsamic and apple cider vinegar, do have pigments in there that give them also that flavor versus just being diluted acetic acid. So it can, I'm sure that they work. They're just both more expensive and could add a color. Cleaning vinegar is more concentrated, yes. I forget, let me check. Okay, so the vinegar that I have right here is 5%, and so it's mostly water. I get asked sometimes why I use vinegar instead of citric acid, and the main reason is habit. I found a proportion of vinegar to water that works really well for me, and I didn't want to have to try to shift it in any kind of way. Citric acid does dissolve really, really easily. And sometimes if you need more acid, it's a way to, like, it can help you make something more acidic than vinegar can, because there's a limit to how acidic things can get, unless even with like straight vinegar. So when you're starting with the powder, it's easier to make something more concentrated. Not that you need to worry about really concentrated citric acid, except that it can dull spirulina, which is actually, I still need to try to dull spirulina. We'll sacrifice this game for the cause. Something we should do at some point. I like using apple cider vinegar for pickles. Bye, Carol. Thanks for joining. And Kathleen, it's totally, I mean, as far as the dialogue goes, it's okay if your yarn doesn't match the photo. Part of the reason why I do this, and sometimes I feel like I dye yarn and I nail the inspiration photo. But like if I were to set up a pretty photo on Instagram with like the inspiration photo of the yarn, you'd be like, oh yeah, I see that. Sometimes not quite so much. So I think that what I like about doing this is that it challenges me to do something that, well, occasionally I pick something that I would do anyway. Like when I always pick, typically we'll do rainbows in June or something. But most of the time, I pick something that I wouldn't normally do, or I try to, and there have been some combinations that have just been stunning that really, really excite me. So speaking of pickles, which I haven't figured out, we haven't planted our garden yet, and I don't know what we're going to do. I feel like since it's just harder to keep up with stuff, but we might go and try to pick up some plants this weekend. The pickles are like growing cucumbers has been hit or miss here because sometimes with the heat, if I'm not good with watering, then they get really bitter. So sometimes I just buy pickles for my relish. I like making relish. I do like a spicy, sweet and spicy relish that is so good with tuna fish. But I didn't make it last year, so I've been thinking about it because I feel like we just used it up. Yarn can also look really unappealing in a skein or a ball, but once you work it up, it looks really cool. So don't lose heart. Exactly. Exactly. And, you know, it's funny because sometimes there'll be something, and you see this a lot. Someone will post something in ChemKnits Lab, which is my fan Facebook group, or somewhere else, and being like, oh, I'm not really sure about this. And a lot of people will be like, I knit with that. I love that. So different people have different color preferences, which is like, which is totally fine. What else did I want to say? Oh, okay, I guess while I'm sitting, I should go check on the stove in a minute. But if you enjoy my content, please make sure that you're subscribed and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. These ChemKnits dialogue live streams I try to schedule a little bit in advance so people can try to make sure to, if they want to try to make it, so they can try to join the live. But sometimes I do really last minute unboxings or dyeing live streams. I'm actually hoping to start doing some more impromptu dyeing and spinning live streams again now that my kids are in school, out of the home more often. So that bell icon will, and if you use YouTube on your phone, you can go into the app settings to get push notifications, so that way it'll just let you know when I'm going to do a live stream. Obviously, you don't have to, but if you want to be notified, that's the way you can do it. And yeah, I do have an Etsy shop, ChemKnits Creations, and I have a Patreon. You can find links to all that in the video description. Those are great ways to help support the content here. So thank you all so much. And I think I'm going to go check on the stove, and I am going to go to a brief commercial break, but then I'll pop back and we'll start maybe dyeing that zebra yarn in some kind of way. And if you don't see a commercial, don't worry, but I will be right back. All right, I am back. Thank you all so much. I just set a timer for 5 minutes on the stove, and I put that catering steam pan just across 2 burners on my stove. The frozen has all struck on all the yarn, and there's a tiny bit of some honey mustard left. So we'll see if in 5 minutes that absorbs. But then I will, if I can comfortably pick up the pan, then I can come and show on, or I could take a photo and then insert it so that way I can show you guys before I take the yarn out to cool. so we can speckle. Because I think I do want to, I'm unsure if I want to do countertop or what. So, hello from Massachusetts. If you don't know, I am in Massachusetts. So, that's why I got a little excited. Did a little dance. But let's think. I'm not sure what I want to do with that zebra yarn. And feel free to make some suggestions. So this yarn is really, really cool. It's got some gray and black plies. It's a 2-ply non-superwash yarn. And so I could do, and it's pre-soaked without no acid yet, I could do sort of like countertop and do sort of just speckle on the frozen. But the thing is that like and the sections of like black and stuff are fairly long. So for example, let's see, they're like one of them goes from like here to here. So they're a reasonable length. The thing is I know that this won't speckle that well, but we could do something sort of that would feel watercolory. I don't know. So far, the only way I've dyed this yarn is with a tonal overlay. But we could also just do something fun and like do something more grayscale and speckle with like the black on it, which I don't know. It would be interesting just to like, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I were to speckle on it with black, that wouldn't really take advantage of this like beautiful contrast. So I don't know. Oh, that would be the zebra yarn would be really, really pretty as a gradient. Oh, Dawn, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. Aw, and I like the little sticker. Thank you so much. The zebra yarn is from Wool to Die For. If you like go like sort of DVR and like go a little bit further back, I did pull up the, oh actually, do I still, haha. So the one I have is the, and I cannot see my mouse. Oh dear. I don't know why I can't see my mouse. This is really, really annoying. So never mind. But I don't know why I don't see my mouse anywhere. This is actually a problem. Where did it go? Wow, my mouse is not visible on the screen right now. And I don't know. Shoot. This is not good. Uh-oh. Okay. I can't now change the scene. What? What did I do? What did I do? Like, oh no! Where did it go? How do and I don't have these toggled. This is a real problem. Oh my goodness. No, this is not a problem that I expected. So basically the little cursor is gone. So like, okay, I know it's there, but I usually have it set up so that way I can see it. This is not, okay, I am clicking a little randomly, okay. Shoot. Well, a lot of the yellow has struck. Okay, I'm going to turn off the heat on the stove and see if I can figure this out. Because it could be because maybe I accidentally... Okay, so I'm over there. Okay, I'm over there. down there that's, okay, there we go. No, why not? No, that's not what I wanted. Okay, oh no, oh dear. Okay. Aha, I got it back. So for some reason it went away in the web browsing, and now of course it's back. Okay, we are not going to do any more web browsing today. Because I have it set so my mouse shows up, but like it, for some reason it was like, oh, the mouse is gone. And I was like, what? That was awkward. Okay, Blue Sea Serpent, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you so much. Sorry for taking so long. I had the weirdest stream technical difficulty I've ever had. So long skein dip dye. A dip dye would be harder for me to do today. So I think that if instead of a dip dye, I could do like a blue and yellow sort of hand paint similar to what I did before on this, which is a little bit what I'm thinking about doing actually, and having something a little more subtle. So Trista, it wasn't the mouse was actually moving around. It was, the problem was that the cursor wasn't on the screen. And so like I could see like where it was, but there wasn't like a visible icon. So I would have had to restart the computer, which would have been hard to do when I couldn't figure out where I was pointing. I literally had the term watercolory typed in the chat when you said that. It would look good. I think speckles. So yes, when I'm saying speckles, I mean more, I wouldn't be going for ultra fine. I would be going for like larger little like splotches, I think. Yeah, down here, no. So it really, like the cursor, it wasn't that the cursor was getting stuck and that I couldn't move it. It was that the little arrow actually disappeared on the screen. And so I was moving it, but that I couldn't see what I was pointing at. So that is something that I've never had happen before. So the zebra that I have, there is a superwash variety. The one that I have is not superwash. And so, yeah, I accidentally clicked on the superwash one, which was when I was like, wait, where is my mouse? So the one that I have is just called Zebra Fingering, which is 100% Peruvian Highland wool in black and white. And okay, so the one I have is, I just sort of like highlighted on it, and I'm afraid to click on the window and let my cursor go away. So this one right here is the one that I have. They have a few different ones. Yeah, I think that it was the reason why the cursor disappeared, I think, was something about my streaming software that sort of messed up a little bit and decided to hide the cursor when I was on a window. And so it was, that's what I think the issue was. So I don't, yeah. So anyway, all right, I am going to come back up here, but let's see, I'm going to take a picture of, let's see how, oh, that's not that hot. I can actually bring it over to show you. Oh. Okay. I think. Okay, so here's where we're looking. And I think that this kind of effect might be what I want to do on the zebra, but a little bit differently, a little bit more splotchy. And I need to find a place to put this so it can cool a little bit. Or actually, I'll just remove the yarn. Don't get tangled. Okay. So
So the reason why I'm removing the yarn is because it'll cool off faster if I gently squeeze out some of that liquid. So here is the wool of the Andes. And the nice thing, and the reason why I want to do with the powder to begin with, is that we do have some splotchiness in the yellow, which is good. That's what I wanted. And the blue as well. So I can set this aside. But the stroll is absolutely more pigmented. Okay. Here is that stroll. I intentionally kept some white. I will put in some honey mustard specks in that area, but I didn't want to make green. So that was, the goal was to avoid making green as much as I can. So let's bring out my other steam pan. And we're going to do something very similar, but I'm going to start with acid, and we're going to start with less water, I think, because there's also going to be only 200 grams of yarn. Your bath is still clearing, but you have an awesome green. There's nothing wrong with green, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with green. I just knew that for me today, I wanted to see if I could play with these colors without it getting too green. Okay, so here is 200 grams of our zebra fingering. And I'm actually going to do this. So I do have it more spread out already. Okay, and I'm going to add some water. Actually, let's put on 1, 2, 3, 4 tablespoons of white vinegar. And we're going to add, I think, 4 cups of water, which is not very much. So I'm going to get some more water. This is approximately, just approximately 2 more cups of water. Just so that way we have a little bit more liquid so we can help move things in here. And I am about to put my respirator mask and gloves back on, but we're going to go for it and see where we end up. I don't know where we're going to end up, but we'll see. Let me see. Heavy patchy brown speckled with some spread, then layer on frozen speckles. Ooh, that's pretty. Yeah, green is beautiful. It's just, yeah, my goal is to play with these colors without it turning too green. But if I ended up with green, that's fine. Okay. Ow. So I have no idea what I'm going to think about this, how I'm going to feel about this. We will have to see. Okay, I am now wearing my respirator mask and safety glasses again. Okay, so we're going to start with the honey mustard. And what I'm doing is coming in these discrete areas. Okay, and now with my finger, this should help give some spread. But because like the color is going to be more pigmented and then sort of spread out and be a little yellower, you know, we'll see where we end up. I am making this up as I go along, but doing this should give, oh, actually it's not going that deep. Broke my rule about screwing the lid back on. I'm curious. Oh, it isn't going that deep at all. Oh, interesting. So I will have to like heat and flip and do the other side. Coming in with some fawn. This colorway could be all wrong for this base. That is very, very much a possibility. But I wanted to go for something less, whoop, that was obvious. You can tell when I'm really thinking about something when it's a live stream and I'm not really talking. I actually think that this is really fun and pretty. I'm not sure if I'm going to pull in the teddy bear. I don't think I am. I think that what I'm going to do is stick with this fawn and then add some frozen down here. Now the interface of fawn and frozen is probably, very probably going to read green. And that is okay. I have no idea what y'all think about this. I cannot see the comments very easily from this angle. So I am technically speckling, kind of. There will be color changes in here, but so the colors might shift from stitch to stitch, but then there's also going to be these like longer repeats from the plies, which is really fun. Okay, our blue may end up being a little bit bright. Maybe overdid it a little bit. I totally overdid it. We've got a pigmented friend. Oh well. I'm sure not going to stress out about it too much. Not at all. Okay, but I do, no. Okay, what I want to do now is, yeah, we've got a lot of color. Some may spread. I'm going to have to think about what to do with you, Mr. Pan. I usually like to reuse dye bath, but I don't have enough stove space for everything today. So, let's see. This is actually really fun. I hope you guys like it. Okay, oops, I don't want to tip it. I'm going to go start heating this. There's not a lot of water. So I'm going to start high and then reduce it once I see some steam. You know what I almost wish I did? I almost wish I did a version of that was the yellow and fawn, and then a second version that was the frozen and fawn. I kept them separate. That would have been really fun as well. Okay. I'm going to come back. Curious to see what everyone thought. Do, do, do. Oh. There we go. Let's see. No, you can't see it. You see leopard cheetah coming for the zebra. Oh no! No! That wasn't my goal! Pinks and reds. Pinks and reds would be very, very beautiful on the base. You're gonna have to break down by some of the zebra. Yeah, so if you just search wool to dye for the zebra, then it should come up. I didn't overdo the blue. I mean, the blue is brighter. So I think that the blue is really pretty. The overdoing the blue is that I needed, the goal was a more icy blue, like is in the inspiration photo. So there's always two ways to think about things. Are you overdoing it in the absolute sense of the actual yarn and how the yarn is coming together? And are you overdoing it if you're trying to get something that goes with an inspiration? So neither one is bad. I'm not sure about this color. Oh, good. I tend to overthink things, and I'm just like, ooh, is this ugly? Will people like it? Will someone maybe buy it from my shop someday? Because, all right, I knew I said that we weren't, and then I wasn't maybe going to, but I hope I don't regret this. Okay, but coming over to my shop, just to show it off. Like, there's sometimes things when I'm like, how is this still present? So I do have a few of the 2021 Summer Mini Skein mini-series set pre-orders left. Not very many, but there are sometimes some things that I'm like, how is this still here? So you can see stuff from other dye along. Like, I love this one.
And so that's one that I'm like, ooh. And same with like the flamingo one. I was like, ooh, I love it. But then there's some, oh, this is a really old one. This was a Mandarin duck dye-along, which actually I really liked that one too. That wasn't one that I felt like unsure about. So actually I'm just pointing out yarn that I've dyed that I really like instead of colorways that I was unsure if anyone could ever love. I actually like all of these, so never mind. But yeah, that's a little look at this is my shop. And there's absolutely a link to that down below. I have to do a little self-promo. I feel like it's part of being a YouTuber. But man, it's hard. So one thing I miss about having both like a counter cam and a stove cam is if I had the stove cam, then I could just look at it from here. I would not have to stand up to do it. Not that I mind standing up, but there is an awkwardness about my floor spot. And we can start, ooh. Okay, chat. Should I do a mini unboxing now? Or should we start speckling? I'll let you guys think about it. And you can be a little warmer. Yeah, the yarn has cooled off enough that I can either put it back in the pan or do something. This is actually really, really cool. So it's probably not going to clear. It's probably not going to clear for a long time though. Yeah, I am going to, there's not very much time that's been going on, but I'm adding vinegar to the zebra yarn. I might not be able to dye the other side for a while, especially if I'm trying to avoid a lot of green, which I love green. It's one of my favorite colors in the whole world. But today, that's not what I am going for. Okay, let's see. Unbox, ooh, speckle, unbox, unbox. Okay, unbox. All right. Cool. I'll go get the box. Oh. Oh my God. I could almost fit in this box. I'll turn it upside down. So this is a, this is a big box. Big box. Oh, come on. Why do you have to package it so well? Okay, I'll get a thing. So if you are international and you purchase from me, I don't have any control over customs fees for your home countries. So I don't do any prepayment of custom fees. I know some larger retailers can do that sometimes, but I don't know the laws in France or wherever else you might be, so you might have custom or import charges. So those are not included in my prices. So I hope that that helps. Shipping, and if I've noticed that Etsy sometimes has been calculating some shipping costs a little strangely. If like they've really overcharged, I do refund overages. Shipping, international shipping has gotten really expensive lately. If you have suggestions for drying a cake without a spin dryer, you have a laundry machine. So you could maybe a spin cycle on the laundry machine with a like towel to balance the load or something. But otherwise, I would actually take a towel and sort of roll it in and press, and then let it sit for a few days. All right. Oh no. This is the problem with opening things upside down.
let's see, some Crazy 8 minis. This is a it's a 4-ply of 2 plies. So it's really bouncy. And I got a few bags. There's some mini skein shortages going on, and I really like this base. So I got some. And then I bought a million Platinum DK micro skeins. Because I'm thinking about Hanukkah already. And worried that, well, we might have to get creative if I can't get my normal. So I got, I got a lot. But there's, the fun stuff is probably all at the bottom. Did I get anything else? This is all Platinum DK, I think. I mean, I know I got full skeins and stuff, but I wasn't sure if I got micros of anything else. I thought I got some titanium. Maybe they were out. Okay, so that's 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, this is titanium. That's titanium. Okay, so 10, 11, 12, and 13. Does that sound right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13. And then I got 2, I guess these are just micros of titanium. I think the minis were out of stock. I do like titanium a lot, and I use it for swatching a lot. But that is some micro skeins, which, to be fair, I call them all mini skeins, but Wool to Die For calls the micros 10 grams and the minis 20. All right, I'm seeing some spread of the brown. Okay, there's just definitely a lot of stuff left. So we are just going to put the heat on low and let you sit, and we'll see where that ends up. Okay, let's get back to the box, because the fun stuff is at the bottom, which was the top. Crazy 8 minis are out of stock? Yes. Minis, so I don't know if they still want people to do this, but if you need mini skeins by through the end of the year, Wool to Die For, they may have placed the order for September already. Oh, so this is something exciting. This is something exciting. Oh, I guess I didn't order the zebra. I thought I ordered zebra superwash. This is something exciting. Oh, okay. I guess I removed that from my cart. Okay. So, the first thing that I got. So I ordered this a couple days ago. I ordered this, and I'll just go and check and see if they're out of stock. Because the shipping is so fast that, so the Crazy 8 minis are out of stock again. Yeah, a lot of the minis are out of stock. I wanted more yak minis, but those are sold out. And as for micros, there's still Platinum DK micros in stock. I now think I have enough Platinum DK micros for Hanukkah, but the Platinum fingering I don't. And so I'm hoping that that comes in time for me. Otherwise, I'm going to have to get creative. In Secret Stash, there's usually limited Secret Stash things available. So there might be 1 or 2 lots of 2 skeins in Secret Stash. Usually it's because there's some extras from mill ends that don't make full bags. And so that's why they have some like partial things that you can get in Secret Stash. But you don't get wholesale discounts in Secret Stash. But with wholesale, you can also buy like a single skein to try things out. All right, but so the fun things I got the Rainbow Donegal. So this has neps that are green, yellow, pink, and blue that I can see, which is sort of a shift
a fun shift. It's very funfetti feeling. It's a fun shift from a lot of tweed. You see like maybe a little bit of yellow, but like brown and black. And so I thought that this would be really, really fun to use at some point. And so it was back in stock. Now I mentioned that yak was something that the minis were out. I got a bag of that yak in just full skeins because it's a gorgeous base and I need to dye more of it. And I've only dyed it in minis so far, and I'm getting surrounded. You're dyeing your mini yak sock tonight? Yeah. And then this one isn't going to be that cool on camera. Oh, so the rainbow neps, does it say on here? It's 85% superwash merino, 15% Donegal tweed. I also got Donegal white neps, which I don't think you'll be able to really see on camera. It just looks like bare yarn. But the neps in here, so this is 84% superwash merino, 16% cotton / acrylic net. And so if it's cotton, that might get stained sometimes, but this is a way to get yarn with white speckles. So this is something that is unique and fun, and so I'm excited to play with this. I mean, with all of it at some point. But given the mini shortages, and I think like on their schedule, the next time that platinum fingering micros might come in stock are like June, which is a little bit scary. Especially the next time after that would be September. But I did, yeah, so we'll see if I have to get creative. Oh my gosh. Keith's gonna be like, why is there another huge random box? Am I planning on making any minis out of the tweeds? I'm not planning on making minis out of that. I typically only make, these days, I typically only make minis for like Hanukkah or something. And I might only be doing that more of a last resort. I think that making the minis last year took like 2 or 3 full days. And so, yeah, I think that I can potentially do more sets so that way more people can participate if I make fewer of the minis myself. And so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, the white speckles. I've never ordered from Nomad. I mean, I know a lot of people really like it. Mainly just because like I typically order from Knit Picks, Dyer Supplier, and Wool to Die For. Now, I am like an affiliate marketer with Knit Picks and Dyer Supplier. I probably have links to them down in the description. So if you like my referral and use my link, then it's like a win-win. I get some commission. Yeah, so I haven't really branched out to try other suppliers just because I feel like I still have more to explore with these companies. But I'm not like opposed to trying other ones. So the name of the white speckles, I believe, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can pull up it. And I've got a detailed image here. So here's a detailed image of a sock with it dyed. So this is, down here is what it looks like in bare form, but then when you dye it, you can see the white, and it is called Donegal White Net Sock. So that is that. And so compared to say like a traditional Donegal tweed type yarn. So, woohoo! I like that I'm set up so that way I can like go to websites now really easily. So anyway, all right, let's speckle. Let's dye more yarn.
Even though, like, I could absolutely be happy shopping with all of you for a while. Oh my gosh. Okay, gotta shift the laptop. Okay, let's see. All right, so I am happy to report that I don't see green over on the stove, but I still see a ton of color, and trying to pick up some penetration to the other side, not that much. Ooh, okay, there's some places, oh, there's still, I went a little heavy with that frozen. There's still like lots. Okay, so we're not gonna worry about that. We're just not. Okay. I am debating how I want to do this. Oh dear. Okay, so I have a steamer basket set up, but the question is, should I lay out, I guess I'll lay out plastic wrap to then speckle and then roll it up. Because I don't really want some of the warm tones to transfer to the cool side and vice versa. So let me grab my plastic wrap. I have lately been trying to avoid using plastic wrap more in videos, both by doing techniques, like say when I'm doing a variegated yarn, I will do it on the, I'll do it in that steam pan and then do like immersion heat it versus doing a like steam in the steamer basket. And a big reason for that is that just to avoid plastic waste. But sometimes if you don't want color transfer, wrapping it up with plastic wrap is the best way to do that, unfortunately. So this is my dye plastic wrap, which sounds wrong. Like dye plastic wrap. Okay, let's see. Is it normal for a high silk content base to bleed a bit when washing? Silk typically requires more acid and time to strike. So yes, I would rinse with additional acid. Okay. So the yarn is still definitely warm. So here is our stroll. And we have a lot of white, but as I said, oh, right, and this part, there we go, I can fix that. And as I said, I want to add some honey mustard. I don't know, I'm sort of mixing things up. A lot of times I would just do sort of like half at a time, but we're gonna go with this and see. There we go, gonna shift that back. So I am gonna add some honey mustard into this middle area and back, and a little bit of the frozen potentially as well. But just for an educational perspective, see how much more muted the colors are here in our Wool of the Andes, and how much further some of these yellows spread. And that is, yeah. So no, so the reason, right now I have them set up this way, but the problem is that this yarn right here is probably the same as that yarn right there. And so that's why I typically will set things up more like this, and then we'll flip and add color, sort of spreading it out so that way we can get through multiple layers. I was like, I might do this differently. And then I'm like, there's a reason why I do it the other way. You know what I said about overthinking? I overthink things a lot. But hey, that is okay. All right, let's see. Any questions? No. Okay. I am going to get suited up, put on my respirator mask. And if you're just tuning in, whenever I'm dealing with dry dye powder, wear a respirator mask. My mask has P100 filters, and I do have blog posts and stuff to link down below to talk about the exact one that I use. Now, one potential problem is that I don't have a yarn mop today. So, I don't have a good place to put one. Okay, I do have I don't know where I'm going to put it though. Let's get a stroll right here. I guess I'll just get a stool. I don't love this idea, but what? Well, how did I get color on that already? Oh, because these are the same gloves that I use. I was like, what happened? Rebecca, what did you do? So there is no acid on that yarn mop yet. Oh, and I'll hide the inspiration photo. Okay, so let's start. Let's start with a little bit of frozen. Just a little bit. So I'm picking up a tiny pinch. And slowly letting some of it fall. And this is just the straight powder. There's no like citric acid or anything, just to bring a little bit in here. Because, well, I love this color. I could probably go through more frozen than just about every other color combined. I'm wetting my hands on the yarn mop. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that mop. Okay, and now the honey mustard. This one, I want to go a little bit heavier. Not a ton, though. I haven't really decided what I'm doing here. I might not need, like if the honey mustard sort of stays with this color, I might not need the browns. Although maybe I'll use brown on that blue instead of black. Let's go a little more into the white area. Oh, some is a little heavier. Don't want to totally overthink it. Does not need to be completely all over, Rebecca. Okay. Going for subtle. Okay. And then Ooh, okay, let's try fawn. Yeah, I like fawn. So I'm sort of going a little random, layering it. And then bringing just a little bit of it into the blue. Cool. This is like really subtle, and I like it. It's a lot more subtle than I thought I was going to do, but I really, really like it. Really, really, really like it. And so I don't want to overthink things, but I do want to take a photo. The colors aren't coming through as well on the stream as I would like. Sandy beach vibe. You just started dyeing yarn because of this channel. Your spinner wanted to learn how to dye with white top. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like it. Oh. All right, I am really happy. So now I'm going to flip carefully. So I don't want, see, we do have some color like going through the layers, which is what we want. But I don't want to overthink things. But I will probably flip inside out at some point. Fluff it up. I'm going to have to dry my hands. Because you want your hands dry when you go into the containers. Did you mix up the colors? No, I have a yarn mop off camera. So I did not, so I just flipped it so you can't see, but off camera, I'm wiping my hands on here and then drying them before going into a different color. So that way you avoid mixing. But that is a good question. Okay, Rebecca, with the frozen, you're doing just a little bit. And should have pulled the glove on more. There we go. Oh, oh man. It's like a fiber stuck to my finger. Yep. And it's okay if things are a little heavier. I'm attempting to be really, really light with the frozen. And up, I accidentally had some go a little further down. happens. Normally the big reason why I like my speckling with my fingers, and then I added a little bit down there on purpose since I had it go down there on that one. I like speckling with my fingers because I do have good control, but sometimes not as much control. Okay, with the honey mustard, going a little heavier. Also going on top of the yellow part, just to add a little more depth to it. I'm really curious what these speckles will do on this wool of the Andes, because it is a lot harder to speckle on non-superwash yarn. They usually don't show up as sharp, but I mean, they can. They just usually don't. Wiping my hand over on the yarn mop and then drying it off. I really, really like what these speckles are bringing in. Actually, someone asked me recently about dyeing a color and using that same color to speckle on top. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. So it's fun. So some fun. So even though these were dyed together, we definitely do not have a dye lot. Like these two skeins are not going to be perfect matches whatsoever. But that's also perfectly fine. So, and not a problem. Whoop, that was a little heavier. That's fine. So fine. All fine. The other reason why I have the yarn mop, which again, I didn't put any acid in this one yet, but it allows me to have my hands not have dye on it when I go and pick up the yarn to flip it, so that way I can add more color. Okay. I'm getting sweaty in my mask. So this time, I really don't want to cause too much spread, but I want to open this up. And it's okay, Rebecca, if you don't get speckles all over, perfectly well distributed. That is not the goal here today. But especially with fingering weight yarn, I do like to open up the skeins to do that middle portion, just because the dyes don't usually penetrate all of the fiber. All right. I'm glad that I narrowed it down to just 3 colors from the like 6 that I originally had pulled up. And so this whole technique that I'm doing here today where I started cool and I let some of that color spread out. And sort of doing this in stages is a really great way to help get some color spread. You could have done something with like a squeeze bottle or something too, but sometimes you just need to do it in multiple steps and then you can get an effect that you want. Fawn is absolutely breaking and pulling some red in. I'm not actually upset. I think that it works, but I wanted to note that. I'm sorry that I'm not seeing the chat very well right now. Very focused. But oh my gosh, we've had just a week. All of us, the kids and me. Oh, Keith. Oh, poor Keith. But we are very excited for the Falcon and Winter Soldier finale. And yeah, we've been letting the kids watch it. The kids love Marvel. They've watched a lot of stuff. I really like this. I was really unsure how I was going to feel about it. And I really, really like it. So I'm very, very excited. Deep breath. The one problem I have, and I don't know if it's because like I refuse to lean on the counter. Maybe I need something a little higher up or something, but my back starts to hurt. Does that mean I'm getting old? Sometimes my back starts to complain, starts to whinge a little bit at me. Be like, Rebecca, why are you standing so long? And I'm just like, well, good question. I don't have anything for you. All right, I think we are done. And, oh, I did grab a picture at one point. I was like, oh no, I have regrets. But actually not as much regret. Okay, let's do this. I'm now going to transfer this to a steamer basket. And I am going to roll this up. Oh, I do see a rogue blue speck. The nice thing is that I think that this is really pretty. Okay. I am going to go pop this into the steamer basket. Oh, which is nice and steamy. And I'm going to steam it for 40 minutes. I try to reuse gloves as much as possible, but at some point they get really sweaty and then I have to stop. But I also just wanted to wipe down and show I'm actually not picking up any color. I would pick up color from like where I have that white, but the color stays like very well where you put it. I am going to wipe the floor just because I always try to do that. And then I will come check for questions. Yeah, floor is good. I like to do a little dye check. Oh, my back. and while I'm here, there's still a lot of frozen on the counter. So I'm gonna add, I think it needs probably more liquid. I've got a couple cups of water with a splash of vinegar, and I am just carefully pouring on to the yarn. Okay, I'm gonna let that continue to sit. I have a feeling I will not be flipping that until the morning. But it is very pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to collapse onto the floor. Hello. I'll check chat in a second, but I am going to upload some pictures of that zebra yarn to my that's so cute. Okay, story. Okay, so I've got a before into my story, then I have a current. So you can see how the colors have spread. And so I'm just at ChemKnits on Instagram, but it's sort of like the before and then before and current. So things have softened up and it's spread more and given us that more watercolory look, in large part because it's non-superwash. Okay, let's see. Total newbie, that's not a problem. So if you don't put too much color in your yarn mop, you just let it dry out and reuse for another session. So what I will probably do with the yarn mop that I have there on the counter is, this has no acid in it, so that makes it a little trickier. I will probably add some acid to it in some kind of way, maybe even in a minute. We'll go and do that, add some water and acid to let these colors spread out, and then I will steam set it. So sometimes I do that. I'll steam set it, and then the next day I'll reuse it as a mop and layer more color on top. I usually don't let things dry not set, but you can absolutely reuse the same mop over and over. And in fact, another idea I had at one point was to do like a yarn mop from like a week of dyeing or something and use the same one and have like just mop camera as I film other videos. That would be really fun. And I always think of it and forget to write it down. So I might not remember. Frozen is awesome. Yes. Oh, no, my skin is just very pink. My shoulder's not quite sunburnt yet. So if you have a skein already dyed in blue at one end, yellow at the other, and I wasn't sure. Oh, so you have a skein of blue that you dyed blue at one end, yellow at the other, and wasn't sure what to do, and now I do. You like the speckles idea? Thanks. I thought like I wasn't entirely sure how I wanted to go about it. I sort of wanted to see how things evolved, but I actually really like where we've ended up a lot. We'll see how it comes out of the steamer basket. Some of your favorite skeins are multi-used yarn mops. Yes, I have some, like, I really like steaming them and using them again, because at some point you get so much dye on them that
they aren't that functional for actually wiping the dye off your hands because you might testing. Okay, the sound is back. Let's see if the camera. Oh no. That is not working. Darn it. Okay, so what was the last thing that you guys heard me say? And I will try to. Okay, so I fixed that. Yeah, let me know the last thing I said, because I did say a lot. Okay, I reduced the heat on my steamer basket. And, okay, I scream, oh no! I was like, la 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 la. Okay, yes, so I mean, I can see this was definitely the webcam froze. Normally it just freezes the video, but today it froze the audio as well. All the more reasons why I need to set up a mic pack. So I was last talking about yarn mops. Oh, okay, I don't even remember. Oh, so then when I went to the Red Planet, did none of that come up? I read this. That was just talking about what it was. I'm not going to read it again though. But this page, and this came up in April, the page is linked down below. But yeah, I do like reusing yarn mops. Oh, my back. Oh, no, I've been daydreaming about a studio lately, and a studio that is not in my kitchen. And I think something, if I was going to do that, I would want to have um, a higher height than this current counter. So then maybe I would like bend less. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, read the description and da 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 da. And this is what I get for going to a web page that covers up the chat, so then I can't see the chat saying no audio, no audio. And also then I'm not looking. So normally what I can see is I can see a little, as I'm talking, a little green sound bar. And if I get too loud, it goes into yellow and red. So normally I see that, which is how I know the audio is working. So my hair is getting so long. I want to chop it so much. I don't know if, especially with summer coming, if I can bear to, I don't think I quite have 10 inches because I think that, because I've got layers in it, and then also it hasn't been cut since I think November 2019, because I was due for a haircut in like last March. So I'm not sure if I would have enough to donate to go back to like my, like this length. So we will see. I mean, yeah, I mean, part of me also is like, if I was ever going to dye the ends a color, now's the time to do it, because then I can just chop it off. So, yeah, because I doubt it'll ever get this long again. But I'm seriously considering the two things. 2 weeks after my second dose, I want to get a dentist appointment. I have no problems, but I haven't like had a cleaning. And thankfully I had one like just before shutdown, so it hasn't, like, I haven't missed that many. But then I also want to get a haircut. So I think Keith also, and I'm trying to convince him, Keith's hair is longer than I normally have my hair. And I'm trying to convince him to go to like a salon to cut it, versus just the barber for that first one. Yeah, so I mean, I definitely don't want to go higher than chin length, and so it just comes down to like how much longer. Like, I get annoyed with my hair when it's like just below my shoulders. It's long enough that it's a little bit fun, but I'm also really ready to just have short hair again. So like, I don't know, the angle's weird, but I'm excited for it to be shorter. And so then it just doesn't get stuck and hot, and yeah. But I am in, oh, yeah, I'll have to see, because I'm also enjoying the length, but mostly I'm annoyed by it. So my steamer basket is, I have two. I have an 8-quart and 12-quart multi-pots. I should have them linked below, and if I don't, oh, actually, let's do, let me find the page first. Respirator, July. Nope, that's our Mexican mini series. This tools and equipment for dyeing yarn at home. Bow. Nope, that's not what I wanted to move. Oh, that's fine. I can go this way. Okay, so this is my steamer basket. I have both the 8-quart and a 12-quart multi-pot. So they have this pasta insert, which I use if I'm steaming a lot of fiber, or I use that when I'm using mason jars in my projects. But then right now I'm using the just like steamer insert, which I can actually layer all three in one of the pots. So I have both the 8-quart and the 12-quart version. And in this post, which should be linked down below, but it's just on my website, the best tools and equipment for dyeing yarn. It's not an affiliate link. It's Salt brand from Bed Bath & Beyond. And so then this is my 4-inch deep catering steam pan, and I list some of my other favorite items and then other favorite tools and sort of share the ones that I have. And I've linked to similar ones if I couldn't link to the exact ones, and then some miscellaneous things that I use. So hopefully that is useful. But yeah, that is linked in, it should be linked in all the descriptions of all my videos. So, you wear your hair long because I put it in a ponytail. So with short hair, what I do a lot is I will just use bobby pins and just pin it out on my face. I actually have a really small head, which is why like I'll make hats for Keith and I'm like, why are these way too small on you? I'm like, oh, it's because my head is not very large and I have a small forehead, so I can't, or bangs would be difficult. But yeah, so I'll just pin it out, and if it's above my shoulders, then like that is fine. Or so that's the way that I sort of deal with that a lot. But with it long, I don't really like just having my hair in a ponytail, so it's just harder to deal with. I'm a gel mat. Yes, if I someday, I maybe was like dreaming about a studio a little bit. But yeah, if I would get gel mats for sure. So that was my steamer. Yeah, the ends, I definitely have, so I don't like heat style my hair at all, so it's fairly healthy, but there's definitely, I'm getting some split ends, and I do get it like thinned out, because otherwise it just has so much volume, so that might it might mean that if I have to lose like 1.5 inches because of like damaged ends, then that reduces the amount that I have for potential donation anyway. Hello. Is my mask expensive? No. I think, do I still have it open? The mask isn't expensive at all. The my respirator mask, so it's about $40, and then I don't need the vapor cartridges, and then the filters are just $15 for a replacement, and you can use it for a really long time. It happens to be sold out at the moment, so it's not available, but they have come back in stock since February of 2020. So they have been, I bought a new one recently, which I haven't started using yet, but there's some things online that are like with the strap and stuff that need replacing, so I just got a new one to have for when this one fails. But I think that, yeah, for the amount that I use it, I'm really glad I got a reusable one like this. Oof. The trays or dishes for the dyes are just the gas. So the ones that I got, I have a gas stove, and so I don't know if they would work on an induction. But yes, I'm still here. Probably not that much longer. Hi. Yeah, you can run. Do you want to say hi? You can say hi off camera. No? Can they? Well. They can't see the stairs, so don't worry. Oh, but I'm dyeing yarn inspired by Mars.
Mars?
Yeah!
Like the planet?
Yes, like the planet.
Is it red?
No, it's, well, okay, come see the picture. You don't have to, come on camera.
How's it not red?
Well, because it's false colorized. NASA released this image. The camera's right there. So it's colorized based on temperature. So it's really like a temperature inspiration. Because otherwise all the pictures are usually in black and white that come from Mars. So that's why I like this one.
Cool.
gonna talk again. He's like, Mars! Oh. Okay, so then yes, the steam pan would not work. Even though it's, because like stainless steel, magnets don't work on stainless steel, right? Yeah. No to the magnet test. Let me see. We've still got that frozen. It's not happy with me. That's too bad. Hopefully these colors have settled down and I don't have to dye the other side because this is taking forever. Forever. Okay, let's put some just straight acid on the end. Sometimes it's not that things aren't striking and that I can see that there might be a little powder on the edge of the pan that can contribute. It's definitely looking pretty. Okay, I added a bunch of acid down there. Turn up the steamer basket a bit. Have to decide what I'm going to do with that though. Okay. Oh, let's see. Can I see my hand? Oh no. Oh, that's working. Fine. It's just I was looking in the wrong spot. That got on you. Lure him in with science. I mean, yeah, would it surprise any of you at all with the kids we talk about math problems at dinner? And we talk about, like, Lucas learned, like, a couple weeks ago, we talked about square roots, because he knows, like, the square of a lot of numbers, and so then we were talking about square roots, and then, yeah, that's been really, really fun. Both boys really enjoy arithmetic and stuff, and so it's been a lot of fun to play with. I don't know. I don't have induction, so I'm not sure what works. But, yeah. I have to decide what I'm going to do with the yarn mop because I don't have space. Let's go back up because I am, excuse me, starting to fade. Oh, I have an idea. I have this jar. So the jar has some acid in it. So here's our yarn mop. It's actually a pretty decent color. Okay, let's go get more liquid. So there was acid in there. Okay, I'm going to rinse this. Sometimes the decision of what to do with a yarn mop and how I'm going to set that color depends on what I have available at my stove. So there was no acid in this yarn at first. And there was a little bit of acid here in the jar. I'm just going to let that sit overnight probably. And then maybe we'll heat set it tomorrow. I am going to clean up a little bit though.
don't want to tempt fate with having the dye powder still on the counter. So I would like to put them away. And then I can chat. But that's a fun thing to do with the yarn mop. I also try to mix things up from time to time, just because you never really know. And there's something to be said about the softness you get from wiping yarn onto a surface and then submerging it and let things spread out, because they sort of, in the jar, they get locally trapped a bit, which is a lot of fun. Okay, the zebra yarn has had heat on for a long time. I'm going to turn off the heat, and I'm going to move it back to the stove. I just want to, oh no. Oh dear. Try not to spill a hot pan. Just wanted to quickly show where we're at. And so it's possible, even though the colors hadn't really penetrated very far when I looked at that previously, it's very possible that they did while it was heat setting, that they spread. So I'm very excited to flip it. I'll try to do that on camera. Oh, but the, yeah, let's see. Do you think it would be neat if I also do roving? You mean for the dye-along? I'm not sure if I've done roving in any of the dye-alongs thus far. I definitely have at least 2 roving videos coming up. One really soon, one maybe sometime in May. So I have that coming up. Not part of the dye-along, but just beautiful colors. Thank you so much. But now I still have some time on the timer for the speckled yarn. I don't think I'm going to be opening it up here. Mainly because I think it'll take a little too long for it to cool, and since we do have, I should have brought, sometimes I bring a pillow to sit on, when I'm sitting on them, like, I wish, maybe I need to figure out how to have like a 2-computer setup so I can sit at a table, then also have the computer running the stream. So that's part of the problem, but what was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought, which is why, one of the reasons why I'm winding down now, because my brain starts to go. Yeah, I really don't remember. Oh, since part of what we speckled is non-superwash, I'm not going to want to open it up and agitate it until it's had a lot of time to cool. So I'm probably, when the timer goes off, I'm giving it 40 minutes, I'll probably just turn off the heat there and let it cool overnight, and not even remove it from the steamer basket because I have nothing else to put in. I mean, in theory, I could put the yarn mop that we have on the counter in the jar in, but I think I'll just let it sit overnight and then set it in the pot or something, or take it out and steam set it. That's probably what I'll do tomorrow. Yeah, but anyway, I really hope you guys enjoyed this stream and this inspiration photo. It's a bit different from what I often pick. And so again, if you want to dye along with me
and participate in the dialogue, please share your pictures with me. Use the hashtag ChemKnitsDialogue on Instagram, or find this photo on the ChemKnits Facebook page, which I do have linked down in the video description, and just reply with a photo comment. There's like a, there we go. That's bothering me. Reply with a photo comment, and then I will pick a bunch to include in the recap, where I will also show off the finished dry yarn from when I dyed in this live stream, because there's no way to have everything finished tonight. And so that, the recap usually comes up in 3 to 4 weeks. But there is, if you want to share pictures but you don't want to be featured, you can share them in the ChemKnits Lab Facebook group, which I'm often slow. I only usually go and add new members like once every week, week and a half or so, because yeah, that's how often I check. Just if you request to join, please make sure you answer the questions, and then make sure you're joining from a personal page, not a your personal account, and not a business page, because yeah, that's basically the entry rules. But answer the questions, because I basically want someone, basically if you mention yarn in like what fiber crafts are you interested in, that's yarn or knitting, or even if you mention YouTube or something in there, those let me know that like, okay, you're interested in yarn, versus like people who think that it's like a lab group. Where's that? Can you skein your yarn by winding it onto your Swift? Yeah, you can. Some people do that. I think I haven't started using the new Swift I bought during the big sale. My old Swift breaks all the time, and so I don't think it's sturdy enough to do that. But a lot of people, there are people that do that. So, you know, thank you all so much for joining me. I have a lot of fun doing these, and I hope, as I said, I hope to, once I have finished, I still have one more night to dye for the Summer Mini Skein mini series. Once I've finished dyeing that, then I hope to start doing some fun like daytime streams again, like mixing all of my derma acid dyes together and seeing what we get, kind of things. So we'll see. But I'm hoping to do, or some like mystery food color mixtures, dye-a-thon things and stuff again. Because I miss doing that. I really enjoy doing things like that. But with everyone at home, you know, and when people need to eat lunch, then it's harder. If it's just Keith, I can like, we can have him like make a lunch that is not in the kitchen. He can pre-make a lunch, and that's easier. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, if you enjoy the content, please check out my Etsy shop and Patreon. Those are both really great ways to help support the content here. But the biggest way that you can support everything is by subscribing and engaging with these videos. Watching, giving them a thumbs up, leaving comments. That helps like more people find the content, and so that also just helps the growth as well. So you don't have to spend any money or anything to support the content. And thank you all so much. I really appreciate it, and I love getting to do this, especially after just a rough, this week has been rough. And so, yeah, this actually really like helped, because I was like, oh man, I don't know if I'm up for streaming, but yarn is so much my happy place that this really did cheer me up a ton. And so, I really love being able to do this. It's my absolute pleasure. Woo! Have a wonderful day if you're on the other side of the world, or a wonderful evening if you're over here. And yeah, I will chat with all of you soon. For people that are already patrons, the Die Cut PS for this month should be up, I hope tomorrow. I still have to film the conclusions, but I've edited the rest of the video, which is not normally how I do things, but I've edited the rest of the video. So I had 2 hours of footage, which is a lot, that I edited down to like, I think like 40 minutes. and so now I have the conclusions for the color challenge. But patrons get early access to each new episode of Dye Pot PS, but when I release a new one for patrons, then last month's Dye Pot PS will become public for everyone, so there'll be a new video. It'll be out. I think the goal is tomorrow. That's my goal. And now I've said it out loud, so I have to try to do it. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will chat with you all soon. Bye!